Okay, Chad. So curious when it comes to doing some basic auditing of the financials. It sounds like something that kind of like your guys' data engineer and your data scientist, like they've perfected their craft. How can a buyer, in the due diligence process, like what are some like just basic questions they might have just to understand the integrity of the data that they're looking at? Can you think of just some simple or random questions that a buyer could ask to understand that, or even a seller to understand, is what I'm seeing like actually real?
Yeah, I mean I guess that is such a good question. What comes to mind immediately is like if I was buying a company, I would ask the question, "What's your single source of truth?" And I would start there because if the answer to that question is not simple, if you might want to dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that you might have to dig a little bit deeper. So what I mean by single source of truth is if you ask me that question and I answer and I say, yeah, I have a SQL database that we connect Looker to, and that SQL database is a mirror image of the e-commerce database, then I know that that is my single source of truth, that there is no other data that is being pulled in or manipulated. But if you start saying something like, I've got Looker connected to a SQL database, and that SQL database is fed by 5 different databases, that might not be bad, but there's questions there that you're going to want to drill into to really understand the integrity of that data. Like with having a team like what we have, I know that the data, the integrity of the data is there because that's their job. That they live and breathe it. But when you start talking about 5 or multiple sources feeding into a database, those different feeders to the data, like do they take the data as seriously as what the next person does? So you just got to. That's where I would start, Nate. I would really want to understand the integrity and where it's being sourced from.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications about new videos and interviews. And introduce yourself in the comments. Are you a buyer or a seller?